Hello, my name is Jael. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Hello, Mr. Ielts. My full name is Milton Bao, and you just call me Bao.
Thank you. For the first part of the test, I would like to ask you some questions about your hometown or city. Can you tell me about your hometown?
I live in a really small village in Longzhou. It's a province in Bắc Ninh city, and in Longzhou there are 4 individual village, which my village is the smallest out of the 4. My village is, although it's really small, but it has a really big industry zone, which is located in the back of the back row. So you just can imagine that this is my village right here, and on the back row, there are really huge industry zone right there.
Okay. What would you like to change about your city or your hometown?
Talking about the changes I can make from my hometown, first I would like to indicate about whether any problem is there, or is there anything that I don't like. First, the atmosphere there is really polluted. Since there are really huge factories nearby my hometown, which emits a lot of toxic gases, contributes to the pollution. So I think if I could do something, I would like to move the industrial zones further away from my village so that we can have a cleaner air. And one more thing is that my hometown is not a developed town, but they are also really overcrowded. There are many people live there while there are not enough accommodations or houses. So one more thing, if I can do for my hometown, I would like to build more house, which probably will cost a lot of money. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the buildings in your hometown. What types of buildings are there in your place, in your town?
As I mentioned earlier, my hometown is not a developed place, so there will be no huge building, no skyscrapers, no modern building which have elevator or any kind of that. Mostly there are types of building who built from just bricks and concrete and have a stones walls, like stone fences. Also, there are lots of farms nearby my hometown, which they build a small sheds near there, and that shed people just like live there sometimes, or they can stay there for a night to take care of their crops and stuff. So,
would you like to live in an old or an ancient building?
Oh, so an old and ancient building is really interesting. Like if talking about something old, something ancient, something legendary, I would feel really fascinated about it. But if I want to live in there, no, I don't think I would like to be. But because like sometimes we are living in a modern society now. I need my devices, I need my connection, so that I can meet up with my friends. I can talk, I can listen, I can learn, I can study. Beside that, living in an Asian building, it sometimes is not really sustainable, because like buildings which are old age cannot be as strong as the building like this. It can be sometimes collapse, it can become like a debris in just one night. So I'm afraid of the safety there, so yeah, I don't want to.
Okay, thank you. For the next part, I'll be asking your language learning. What do you find difficult about learning English?
Actually, learning English to me is not really difficult, but if there is something that really, like I am really lacking of, is the vocabulary. Like learning English or any other language, you need a really strong base or foundation of words and vocabulary, which is really hard for me to learn, because I have to remember most of the thing, every words that they are not really the same. They are pronounced the same, they write in a different ways, but they have the same meanings that really confuse me. And I think it's the only thing that I feel difficult about learning English.
Okay. Would you like to learn another language in the future?
If I would like to learn another language in the future, yes, I would say yes. But if I can, I'm not sure. But like but let's talk about what I want to. So I want to learn another language, and I think that would be Japanese or at least Chinese, because I think that Japanese and Chinese are two of Chinese and Japanese are two of the really big countries, and they have their own way of development. So I think that if I could learn their language, I could be like live there or develop my own future there, so, which is really sustainable.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to give you a topic. You have 1 minute to make notes. The paper is on the table, you can open it. You have 1 minute to prepare and 1 to 2 minutes to speak. Okay? Please begin now and I'll just tell you when to stop. Okay, let's begin. So the question on the paper is describe a family member that you get on well with. You should mention what their personality is like, what things they like doing, if they have any strong dislikes, and say why you think you have a good relationship with them. You may begin to talk now.
The person I really get on well with is my cousin. He is my mother's brother, and the special thing about him is, beside of his old age, he's older than me, like for 6 years. Besides his old age, he is a really humble person, sometimes really sarcastic, but sometimes he could be sarcastic, he could saying bad things about us or judging us by many means. But beside all of that, by all means, he is a really understanding and loving person. He loves to take care of others, especially me with my brother. The things he likes to do the most is probably sports. He is really he's a strong person that he do most of the sport like basketball, baseball, and swimming and stuff. But like above them all, I think that the thing he fascinates the most is football. Like he can play football every day, like, but mostly he spends his time playing football with his friends on weekends. If there is something he dislikes, that's probably he don't like being scolded or he doesn't like anybody to tell him what to do. He's a really independent person. Like he wants to do with his own ways. Like if somebody try to tell him that what he should do, he shouldn't do this, he should do that, he would just try to ignore them or he just show uncomfortable feeling in front of them, so they would know. The reason why I get on well with him, not only because of his careness, of his loving appearance, that also because like my mother is his sister, so we probably have the same kind of inspiration.
Okay,
we have.
Time is up. Okay, so the next questions will be still related to the topic about family. Who should be responsible to take care for the elderly? Should it be the family or the government?
Oh, that's actually a really interesting question, because like most of the people don't actually care about that problem. But like in my opinion, I think that the person should be responsible for the caring of elderly is probably it must be their own sons, their grandchild, and their sons and the children. Yeah. The reason why I think that way, not only because of the government probably don't have enough money or financial to provide good quality of their life for their life. So sometimes elderly people could have a really bad environment to live, which they will be sad. You know, sometimes anxiety and other stuff that could make their life become miserable on their last day of life. Having their own child to take care of them probably could have some advantage or disadvantage. Let's talk about the advantage first, which is sometimes children can really understand their parents. They know what they want, they know what they need, so they can provide them what they are desire. But there could be some really strong drawbacks, which could be children or the family members could be sometimes really busy, so they can't really take care of the elderly and they left them alone. They become lonely and isolated.
Okay, the last question. What do you think about single parent families?
Oh, single parent families. I'm not really see that one in my entire life, but I've seen them a lot in the internet and all the social media stuff. I think that individual single parents could really affect their children because like children born in a family which have both their parents and which have both their mom and dad could have the both way of support, which is the nurturing from the mother and the life experience from the father. But what if there is only a father or a mother? Like they can't have time to spend with the kids. Sometimes they are really busy. They don't have time. They don't have really much caring with their child. So sometimes they could be really lack of love, lack of connection with their parents, which I think is really bad for their early development.
Okay, thank you. This is the end of the speaking test.
Yeah.